So Seth, you've kind of touched on it, but you've been running actual evacuation operations out of the Middle East for weeks now, 40 days. And I suspect you did see quite a difference between companies and how they were prepared. So what did the most prepared ones have in place that made a difference? Or you could answer the contrary to that. So
Absolutely. I'll talk basically my client experience of what I worked with our client base at Global Guardian versus 9 clients that I ended up working with after the conflict started that came to us for help. So I think one of the key pieces is when you choose a duty of care provider, and most companies should have a duty of care provider, you really need to read the fine print. Because in the fine print, much like when you buy insurance, you're going to figure out what that vendor is able to do for you, but also what they're not able to do for you. Global Guardian, the way that we're arrayed around the world to include the Gulf, is we have indigenous teams over 145 countries that are in place now, ready to help, along with all of our intelligence and cyber divisions and things like that. But the other piece is that we were built by retired CIA and special operations leadership, of which I'm one of them. And for the last 14 years, it's been preparing our clients before an event happens. So in this particular case, for our clients that were prepared, the best practices, the 6 to 7 week lead up, as we saw the US and military begin to coalesce and build forces in the region, it became very clear to me that when you dress up for the dance and you go to the dance hall, in my 28 years as a Green Beret, you're going to dance. So there was going to be a fight unless Iran was going to back down. But I've been dealing with Iran for 28 straight years. I don't like the regime. They don't like me personally. So I knew this was coming to a head. So I was able to sit down with all my clients and say, let's be realistic. Let's get full accountability of everybody who's inside their missile range. Let's make sure we've got tracking response apps, we've geofenced their locations. But more importantly, let's get the evacuation plan down so that your non-security focused personnel that are living in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Kuwait, Bahrain, they know exactly where they're supposed to go and how we're going to get them out. We had done some analysis ahead of time, which included Oman has friendly relations with Iran. So the chance of Oman being attacked was frankly very low. So we knew that if we could take our clients from Dubai, for example, we could drive them across the Omani border and then fly them out of Muscat. So our clients were prepared. And then when the February 28th hit and the US and Israel started to bomb, we saw the Iranians, of course, start to fire missiles and drones at the Gulf nations. It was time to move. So at that point, there was no more figuring it out. Our clients already had their go bags ready. They had money, passports. They had already done their online visas. They had their medication. They knew what they were going to bring with them. And to be clear, evacuation isn't just you in the bag. There's families that need to bring the dog, the cats, all of those things that we all hold dear in our own lives. We were moving them the morning of the 28th, and it started small. It started with individual small groups of either families or small groups of corporate clients. But as our corporate clients realized that this was not going to end anytime soon and it was going to escalate, we started moving by day 3 or day 4 bus loads of clients. Now we're moving them by the hundreds. And instead of getting commercial flights for our clients, now we're bringing in charter flights that hold 200-300 people to move out clients at scale. And in the first 10 days, we moved 4,200 clients. And the reason we were able to do that was all of the legwork that was led up to the actual crisis kicking off. Now, for those that weren't prepared, I have picked up some new clients because they didn't read the fine print with their duty of care provider. And they realized that when the bomb started falling, their duty of care provider told them, shelter in place. Our point to them was, look, this isn't going to end anytime soon. Like, you can leave and you should leave. There's no point in staying if you can go. And so what they had to do then was sort of figure it out after the boom. It became, okay, well, what do I need? All right, you need these things to put in your go bag. You've got to apply online for a visa. What are your nationalities of your folks? Because while US people, we could move very quickly. For example, Indian nationals had to wait, in some cases, weeks to get approval from Saudi Arabia or Oman to go through some of the locations they needed to go to. Um, so what happened was we were able to help sort of those non-client, unprepared folks, but you're trying to figure it out under duress when families are scared, when employees are concerned, when businesses don't have a plan for their business continuity. And that was the main difference between the two. Those that were prepared were ready to go and they were able to continue to do their business resourcing. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to a very simple math problem. If you have a plan in place, if you have the intelligence and you have the resources already set in the location, then you are going to be able to move very quickly to get the outcome that you want because you've planned, you're prepared, the resources are there, and you can go. If you don't have those in place, you're going to fail the math problem every single time. So the takeaway here between the two is read the fine print on your insurance and on your duty of care provider. See if they will operate in a level 4 conflict zone or war zone, because the world is only getting more complex, more dangerous. This will happen again somewhere else soon. Thank you.